Imagine waking up tomorrow and every electronic device you own is dead. Your phone won't turn on. Your car won't start. The power grid? Gone. Banks? Unreachable. This isn't science fiction. Governments have been warning us about electromagnetic pulse attacks for years, and most people won't survive the first week. But you're not most people. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 12 essential items that will keep working when everything else fails. These aren't expensive bunker supplies or military-grade equipment. These are practical, affordable tools that could mean the difference between thriving and becoming another statistic when the grid goes down. And if you stick around until the end, I'll reveal the one mistake that makes all your preparation worthless. Welcome to Food Decider, where we help you make smarter choices for survival, preparedness, and self-sufficiency. If you're serious about protecting yourself and your family, hit that like button and subscribe, because this information could save your life. So let's start by understanding what we're actually dealing with here. An electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, is a burst of electromagnetic energy that can come from two main sources: natural phenomena like massive solar flares, or man-made events such as nuclear detonations at high altitude. The result is the same either way: a powerful surge of energy that fries electronic circuits and renders anything with a microchip completely useless in an instant. Now, why should you care about this? Because modern life is built entirely on electronics. Think about your daily routine for a second. Communication, navigation, cooking, banking, even access to clean water in most cities. It all depends on devices that are vulnerable to EMPs. When the grid goes down, so does your access to information, food, water, and security. The government has openly warned about this risk, and experts across the board agree on one terrifying fact: most people wouldn't last a week without their technology. Here's the thing that makes this even more urgent. We have a modern dependency problem that's only getting worse. Every year, we become more reliant on electronics and less capable of functioning without them. When an EMP hits, it's not just your phone that stops working, it's a cascading failure. The power goes out, which means no communication. No communication means no coordination. Food supply chains collapse. Water treatment plants shut down. Hospitals can't function. Banks become inaccessible, and even if you have money in an account, you can't get to it. And here's something most people don't think about: the economics of waiting. Right now, demand for survival gear has been surging. Prices for radios, stoves, water filters, and silver have climbed to between 10 and 30% annually, with massive spikes during global crises. Supply chain disruptions mean that if you wait until you think you need this stuff, the shelves will already be empty. Buying now isn't just preparation, it's an investment in your future control and freedom when everyone else is scrambling. So let's talk about what you actually need. First up is the hand crank emergency radio, and this is going to be your lifeline when silence falls after an EMP. Unlike battery-powered or solar radios that can be damaged by the pulse, a hand crank radio needs only a few turns of your wrist to function. These devices can tune into shortwave and NOOA broadcasts, giving you critical updates on danger zones, safe areas, and rescue operations when every other form of communication is dead. When you're shopping for one of these, look for models with a built-in flashlight and USB ports for charging other protected devices. Durable construction is non-negotiable. But here's the critical part: you need to store this in a Faraday cage. That means wrapping it in aluminum foil and placing it inside a metal ammo box lined with cardboard. The cardboard keeps the device from touching the metal directly, which is essential for proper protection. Also, store a spare crank handle, because if that breaks, your radio is useless. You're looking at $30 to $60 for a quality unit, which is a small price to pay for the only long-distance communication you'll have. Building a survival network through ham radio communication is one of the smartest things you can do. A network of prepared individuals who can share information, coordinate resources, and watch each other's backs is infinitely stronger than any lone survivor trying to make it on their own. Now, let's talk about power. A solar battery charger stored in a Faraday cage ensures you don't lose all access to electricity. Here's the beautiful thing about solar: the sun is completely immune to EMPs. A protected solar charger can keep your radios, flashlights, and rechargeable batteries running indefinitely. Look for foldable solar panels with USB output, and power bank combos are even better because they store energy for use at night or on cloudy days. The key to protecting these is proper storage.
Disconnect all cords and store everything dry and separate. The insulation and separation are what keep the electronics safe from the pulse. You're looking at $50 to $120 for a quality setup. You also need a mechanical wristwatch, and this might seem small, but it's crucial. Digital watches and smartwatches become useless paperweights after an EMP. A mechanical wristwatch, however, keeps ticking through absolute chaos. Timekeeping is vital for ration schedules, patrol rotations, and coordinating with others when you have no other way to sync up. Brands like Seiko, Citizen, and Orient make reliable mechanical watches. If your watch has luminous paint or any hybrid electronics, store it in a metal tin or Faraday cage. For pure mechanical watches, you just need to wind them every few months and keep them dry with a silica packet. $60 to $150 gets you a solid mechanical watch that could last decades. When GPS satellites stop communicating and your phone's map app is dead, you need an analog compass. This is the only reliable way to navigate without batteries or satellites, just pure magnetic direction. A lensatic or baseplate compass paired with laminated topographic maps of your local area becomes priceless when everyone else is lost. Keep your compass away from magnets and batteries, which can interfere with the magnetic needle. Store it in a padded pouch with silica gel to prevent moisture damage. Laminate your paper maps now while you can. $15 to $40 for a quality compass is nothing compared to the value of knowing where you're going when the world goes dark. Now, we're getting into the essentials that keep you alive: water and food. You can survive weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. Electric purifiers and UV sterilizers won't work after an EMP, but manual water filters use physical membranes to remove contaminants, and they need zero electricity. The Sawyer Mini is an incredible option that can filter up to 100,000 gallons of water. That's not a typo. 100,000 gallons from a filter that costs less than $30. For family-sized needs, the Big Berkey is a gravity-fed system that can filter multiple gallons at once, though you're looking at $250 to $350 for that setup. Storage is simple but critical. Keep filters dry until first use. After you use them, backflush and air dry them thoroughly. Store them with silica gel packs to prevent any moisture buildup that could damage the filter membranes. This is non-negotiable equipment because without clean water, nothing else matters. For food processing, you need a mechanical grain grinder. Raw grains like corn, wheat, oats, and barley are useless until you can turn them into flour or meal. A manual burr grinder made of cast iron or stainless steel transforms these stored grains into edible food without needing any power. Look for models with adjustable grind size so you can make everything from coarse meal to fine flour. After each use, brush away leftover grain, wipe the grinder down, and lightly oil the moving parts. Store it in a dry, sealed container with a silica packet. $50 to $150 gets you a grinder that can feed your family for years. When the power grid dies, your electric stove and microwave become useless chunks of metal. A propane or kerosene stove provides reliable heat for cooking, boiling water for purification, and staying warm when temperatures drop. Dual fuel camping stoves are ideal because they give you flexibility in fuel sources. Here's what you need to know about fuel storage. Rotate your fuel every 12 to 18 months. Add fuel stabilizer to kerosene to extend its shelf life. Store everything in a cool, shaded area away from living spaces for safety. $40 to $100 gets you a solid stove, but stock up on extra fuel tanks or cans because when supply chains collapse, fuel becomes incredibly scarce. Now, let's talk about light, because darkness isn't just inconvenient, it's isolating and demoralizing. Oil lamps and candles provide light, warmth, and a huge psychological boost when everything else is gone. They don't rely on batteries or electricity, just a wick and fuel. Stock up on paraffin or kerosene lamp oil for your lamps and beeswax or soy candles for longer lasting, cleaner burning light. Tea lights or survival candles with 8 to 10 hour burn times are perfect for rationing. Store everything in a cool, dry spot away from heat sources and keep matches or lighters in waterproof containers. Oil lamps run $15 to $40 and candles are less than $1 each, making this one of the most affordable preparations you can make. Now, for the tools and protection that let you rebuild. Manual hand tools become absolutely essential when power tools are useless.
Hammers, wrenches, handsaws, screwdrivers, these are what you'll use for building, repairing, and improvising solutions to problems you can't even imagine yet. Look for steel construction and invest in hand-powered drills like a brace and bit. A quality multi-tool like a Leatherman is worth its weight in gold. Store everything dry, oiled, and organized in a sealed toolbox. Wipe down metal parts with WD-40 or mineral oil every few months to prevent rust. $100 to $150 for a basic set of quality hand tools is an investment that pays dividends every single day after an EMP. Now, here's something crucial that most people completely overlook: currency. Digital banking collapses instantly after an EMP. All those numbers in your bank account, inaccessible. Credit cards, useless plastic. Cold, hard cash and physical silver become the only real currencies that matter. Keep small bills on hand, ones, fives, and tens, for day-to-day trades.
For long-term value, 1-ounce silver rounds or pre-1965 US coins that are 90% silver hold their worth when paper money becomes questionable. Split your stash between multiple locations, so if one spot is compromised, you're not wiped out. Store silver in airtight containers with anti-tarnish strips. Right now, silver runs about $25 to $30 per ounce, but those prices will skyrocket if crisis hits. Now here's the piece of gear that protects everything else: a Faraday cage or EMP shield bag. All your electronics are vulnerable to EMPs unless they're protected by what's essentially invisible armor. A Faraday cage blocks electromagnetic surges and keeps your devices safe. You can build your own for cheap: a metal ammo box, galvanized trash can, or steel filing cabinet lined with cardboard or rubber mats works perfectly. For portable protection, EMP shield bags or Faraday pouches let you store smaller items like radios, solar chargers, and backup phones. The key is keeping devices sealed, labeled, and organized. Use double layers of foil or mylar for extra insurance, and ground larger cages by connecting them to a ground rod for improved shielding. A DIY cage costs less than $40 to set up. Commercial EMP shield bags start around $25. This is the last line of defense for the technology you're protecting. Here's what separates people who survive from those who don't: redundancy. You need backups of critical items stored in separate locations. If one stash gets compromised, lost, or destroyed, you have another to fall back on. Multiple radios, water filters, hand tools, spread them out. Moisture is the silent killer of mechanical and electronic gear. Use silica gel packs religiously. Oil metal parts regularly. Store items in dry, sealed containers and check on them periodically. Regular maintenance ensures your tools are ready when you need them, not rusted or corroded into uselessness. Rotate your supplies. Fuel, water filters, even cash should be checked and rotated regularly. Fuel stabilizers extend shelf life dramatically. Periodic inspections prevent nasty surprises when disaster strikes and you're relying on gear you haven't touched in months or years. But here's the thing: owning the right gear isn't only half the battle. You need to practice using everything before an emergency hits. Get your hand crank radio out and learn how to use it. Practice with your compass and maps. Figure out your grain grinder. Test your ham radios and make contact with other operators. Familiarity breeds confidence and efficiency when every second counts and stress is through the roof. Learn to read maps and navigate terrain without GPS. These are ancient skills that our grandparents knew by heart, and they're invaluable when modern navigation fails completely. Take a weekend and go practice. Get lost on purpose and find your way back. Build the skills while you can still afford to make mistakes. Let me tell you something important about the mindset behind all of this. Prepping isn't about living in constant fear of disaster. It's about freedom, the ability to control your destiny when the world turns upside down. Every hand crank radio, compass, and Faraday cage you stock up on is proof that you're thinking ahead, not just reacting to whatever life throws at you. The prepared don't rely on luck or guarantees. They make their own luck by investing in skills, gear, and knowledge. When the grid goes down, they're not scrambling around in a panic. They're already rebuilding while everyone else is trying to figure out why their phone won't turn on. An EMP attack could erase modern life in seconds, but it doesn't have to erase your future. By stocking up on EMP-proof gear, practicing essential skills, and protecting your electronics properly, you can turn chaos into opportunity. The difference between panic and control comes down to what's in your hands and what still works when everything else doesn't. Survival isn't about hoarding supplies in some bunker and hoping for the best. It's about keeping the right tools alive and knowing exactly how to use them when it matters most. The grid isn't guaranteed, and neither is tomorrow. But with proper preparation, you don't need guarantees. You just need action. Remember when I said there's one mistake that makes all your preparation worthless? Here it is: buying everything on this list and never learning how to use it. You can have the best hand crank radio in the world, but if you don't know how to tune it to emergency frequencies, it's just an expensive paperweight. You can own a perfect compass and maps, but if you can't read them, you're just as lost as everyone else. The prepared don't panic, they rebuild. They know their tools inside and out. They've practiced their skills until they're second nature. They've built networks with other prepared individuals. They've done the work before disaster strikes, so when it does, they're ready. If this video opened your eyes to what's possible, smash that like button and subscribe to Food Decider. Drop a comment below telling me which item you're buying first, because I want to know what you're prioritizing. And remember, the future belongs to those who prepare today. Stay sharp, stay stocked, and I'll see you in the next one.